Government is your business. But maybe you'd rather not bother. Easier to just go on leaving politics to the politicians. You know, let George do it. Getting sore? Yep, that's the way it crept up on me. A couple of years ago, I was on the GI Bill at the State University Law School here in the little industrial town of Union Falls.
Now, wait a minute. If you want a permit to start a small business, even running a cab, you get it from the council.
You don't know what you're talking about. You get it from the county commissioners.
Listen to the sophomores. You want anything in this town, you get it from Sam Willoughby.
What do you mean?
Look, this is a machine town. Sam Willoughby runs the machine. There's nothing you can do about it.
I'm not so sure about that.
Oh, the great emancipator in our midst. What do you suggest, Mr. Lincoln?
Now, speak up, boy. Still a free country, you know.
Either we run our government, or our government runs us. That's as true today as it was in 1776. Guys like Willoughby have been taking us to the cleaners for years. And it's up to you, Carl, and you, Eddie, and me. It's up to all of us to do something about it.
Look, Johnny, why not face the facts? What can we do? What can one guy do? Change the world?
Yeah, you can change the world. Here's the book that says people like you can change the world.
Came out of a book, huh?
That Christopher book. Government is your business.
Government is your business. So what?
The book says if you want a better team, put better players on the field. Government or any other field will never be any better than the people in it.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Where ever heard that song before? What are you going to do, Johnny? Go out for halfback?
If a few new guys did go out for halfback, it mightn't be so bad.
What about you?
As a matter of fact, I might do just that. You know, I might do just that. I've been saying that to myself for some time. Maybe I will go into politics. Wonder what the folks will think. And Jean, I brought her here tonight to break the news of our engagement. Dad, Mother, I've got something to say, and I want you to be the first to know it.
Go ahead, Johnny. Tell us. We've been waiting all night to hear it.
Well, you know, I've been thinking of going into politics.
You what?
Yeah, running for city council or something. Surprised?
Surprise. I'm flabbergasted. But you're not serious. Pass me the salt.
Yes, I am serious. Look, you know what's happening. You read the papers. If ever there was a time for decent guys to go into politics, the time is now.
But, Johnny, you'd be bucking a stone wall.
Willoughby?
He's got this whole town in his back pocket.
That's the point. That's what's got to be changed, Dad.
I want to tell you that your father and I did not bring you up to turn out to be a politician, a ward healer with a cigar and everything.
Oh, please, Mother. I haven't turned out to be anything yet.
Your father hasn't worked enslaved all these years to see you get mixed up in something dishonest. The least you can do is to keep your two hands clean.
What your mom's trying to tell you is that politics in this town anyhow is like a contagious disease. You don't go in with the measles, but you come out with them.
But, Dad, it doesn't have to be that way. If a few decent people did go into politics, made government their business, don't you think things would change?
But these are rough guys. They'd break you in half.
Wherever did you get such an idea? Jean, can't you reason with him?
Johnny, you can't. Since I'm not a member of the family, I think I better stay out of family quarrels.
Oh, Jean, this isn't a quarrel. Johnny's just wrong.
Well,
Honey.
I've always known how much politics and things like that mean to you, Johnny. I even looked up to you for it. But
what?
don't misunderstand. I love you. And I want nothing more than to be married to you. I just don't want to see you get hurt, that's all.
What do you mean?
I'm afraid your folks are right, Johnny. Not that you'd become crooked or anything like that, but, well, politics is a dirty business. It changes people. I don't know, you'd become somebody else, Johnny. You couldn't help yourself. I want you like you are now. Johnny,
Yes.
say you'll give up the whole idea.
I don't know.
I'm glad now you didn't tell your folks about our engagement. Let's not say anything about it for a while. That way nobody's hurt.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Hi, Uncle Fred. I'll wait out here.
No, come in. Oh, no, Judy. He just came in. Of course I will. Now, don't you worry. I'll talk to him. What do you want to go into politics for?
Oh, my mother?
Uh-huh. And your father, too. They took turns.
Well, that's why I came to see you, Uncle Fred. I need some advice.
Well, the best advice I can give you is stay out of politics.
Why?
Oh, now, Johnny, youthful enthusiasm is a wonderful thing, but the sign of a man's maturity is when he starts becoming practical.
What do you mean by practical, Uncle Fred?
Well, for one thing, not wearing yourself out, trying to solve all the world's problems. What do you know about politics? Why do you want to stick your neck out?
Well, I don't know. I guess it's because I have a feeling of responsibility.
Responsibility? Johnny, listen to me, will you? I know what I'm talking about. I've been through all this. And I can understand how you feel, too. Because 25 years ago, when I was your age, I had a feeling of responsibility. I tried to do something about it. I went into politics, and they rubbed my face in the mud. You can't beat them, son. They're too strong. They're too well entrenched. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They'll run you into the ground. Well, you know what they did to me, don't you?
Yeah. I know how you tried, Uncle Fred.
Now, don't get me wrong, Johnny. I believe in good government. There isn't anything in the world I wouldn't do for it.
Except stand up and fight.
What?
That's all you're saying, Uncle Fred. Is give up. Quit. Run before you're hit.
You're deeply convinced, aren't you? You've made up your mind.
Yes, I have. In spite of you, Mom and Dad, the girl I want to marry, I'm going ahead. Look, if none of us is willing to do anything about something that's evil, then how can we ever expect to have anything better?
All right. I made up my mind. Here's your first campaign contribution. $100. Take it down to the county clerk. That's your fee for filing as a candidate.
Thank you very much, Uncle Fred. I'll need it.
And Johnny,
Yes?
this is madness. But it's the kind of madness that makes sense. I can still manage a pretty good campaign.
That's why I say the time has come for the citizens of Union Falls to start running their own government and stop letting the Sam Willoughbys do it. The very first thing I want to do is to challenge the incumbent to a public debate in the town square. I don't get it. Why are you insisting that I see Willoughby?
Well, he called me and asked me to bring you up. Guess it's that challenge to a debate you've been tossing at him.
Hello, Freddie. I thought you'd get a bellyful once before. This the boy?
This is the boy. Johnny, Sam Willoughby.
Sit down, kid. Mike Billings, the chief of police, and George Smith, the man who's going to be re-elected councilman.
What did you want to see us about, Sam?
Oh, just thought I'd like to talk things over. That's a commendable notion of yours, deciding to enter politics. I'm always on the lookout for promising young men like yourself. Come on board, Johnny. It's always nice to have fresh young blood around.
I don't think you understand, Mr. Willoughby. I'm not running on your ticket. I'm running against it.
Look, Johnny, politics is my business. I've been in it for a long time. As long as you want to get your feet wet, why not let me help you? With a little training and experience, a bright young man like yourself could go far. Now, there are a number of things that you can do in the organization. Some of them even paying a pretty fair...
No, Willoughby. You can't buy me.
What do you mean by that, kid?
I mean, I'm in this thing to win.
You haven't got a chance.
I'll take my chances with the people in open debate.
You ever go to the fights?
Yeah, once in a while.
You know what the referee tells the boys just before the gong? Protect yourself at all times. I know where to punch.
Why, you...
Come on, Johnny. The interview's over.
A debate.
Why don't we take that kid on? I can show him up on a platform.
You in a debate? Yes. Huh? Now, look, George.
When I started the campaign, I didn't know what would happen. Yeah, there were doubting Thomases. But finally, they began to see the idea that it was their fight as much as mine. Gradually, my friends helped out. Rang doorbells, passed out campaign literature, buttonholed people on the streets. And Jean, even though she thought I didn't know, she helped. If I've accomplished nothing else, at least I got people doing something. Hi, everybody. Well, what's the matter? What's everybody so quiet for?
John,
Now, Mother,
he's got to be told.
Told? Told what?
Your father lost his job today.
Huh? But, Pop, you've been with the company for 30 years.
32.
But why? Why did they do it, Pop?
I don't know, son. I guess they have their reasons.
Oh, tell him. Why don't you tell him that just before Mr. Andrews fired you, Sam Willoughby visited him? Yes. And tell him that Mr. Andrews said you were a good and loyal employee, but that circumstances beyond his control forced him to it.
Circumstances.
Now, son, we can't be sure.
Of course we can. That's what he meant when he said he knew where to punch, where the punches would hurt. Oh, I'm sorry, Pop.
Sorry, are you? This is the kind of thing we knew would happen when we begged you to stay out of politics. Your poor father. 32 years with one company. Where can he ever get another job? His whole life broken. And all because of you. You had to go into politics.
Stop it, Martha. This is worse for the boy. Much worse. Don't you back away from them, son. We'll get along. We've got our savings.
John, the first thing tomorrow, I want you to announce that you're withdrawing. Where are you going?
I just thought I'd take a walk, Mom.
You come back here. This has got to be settled.
Excuse me, Mom.
This is the kind of thing we knew would happen when we begged you to stay out of politics.
Government is your business. So what?
Maybe I had to learn it the hard way. They told me to stay out of politics.
I just don't want to see you get hurt, that's all.
But they're wrong. I know I'm right.
Protect yourself at all times. I know where to punch.
The best advice I can give you is to stay out of politics.
You haven't got a chance.
The price to pay. Pop losing his job. Mom. What a spot for her. So I'm right. But is it worth it? I don't know.
Johnny. Johnny, I heard about your father. I'm terribly sorry.
I feel like such a heel.
Johnny,
I don't know what to do. I don't know. Keep trying to find the answer. I don't know. Maybe it's like the Army. Nobody really wanted to go to war. Leave their families, jobs, sweethearts. Boy, I know I certainly didn't. But there it was. War. Somebody had to go into the trenches and the foxholes, get shot at and killed. And plenty of them were. Was it worth it? They hurt Dad. They hurt Mom. But I can't quit now. Jeannie, if I quit now, it'd be like a whole army running off the field because one guy got hurt.
Johnny, just before I got here, I saw your mother. And she said, when you see John, tell him Pop and I are all right. And tell him to go ahead and fight back.
Gonna be fireworks here today.
I never thought Sam Willoughby would agree to a debate.
Neither did I.
As mayor of Union Falls, it gives me great pleasure to preside at this debate. And because of the importance of this event, we have arranged for a statewide broadcast. And folks, at the very end of this broadcast, our governor will speak to us from the state capitol. And you all know who our great governor favors in an election like this. Due to sudden illness, Councilman Smith will be unable to appear today. However, the Honorable Justin K. Jestro, Speaker of the State Legislature, has consented to come down and address you.
Jestro? Why, he's one of the slickest attorneys in the country. A national committeeman, the state keynoter. Oh, Johnny, when they pull an ambush like this, you've got a right to withdraw.
No.
If this substitution is agreeable to the opposing side, resolve that our local administration ought to be retained at the polls. For the affirmative, the Honorable Justin K. Jestro.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 10 years since last I was down in this corner of the state. Gives me a good feeling to see so many of my friends out to welcome me. You know what we've been doing in the last 10 years, however. We've been working. We haven't been going around making wild-eyed speeches or engaging in any harebrained, ineffectual schemes. We've hewed to the good, hard, everyday task of work. You know, it's the funny thing about work. It isn't romantic.
Governor, we have to live with Jestro, but we don't have to listen to his empty oratory.
Do you really think I ought to go through with this broadcast?
Well, Governor.
I know Jestrel and Willoughby are in the party, but I never did care for that crowd or their methods.
Remember, Governor, your own re-election comes up next year, and Willoughby controls a lot of votes downstate.
All right. Show me what I'm to read. Tune up Jestrel so we'll know when we go on. The sooner this is over, the better.
And that's why I can understand how a young man engaged in the tedious study of law would rather daydream or concoct some pleasant plan to escape from doing, such as rowing a young lady around a lake in a boat or dropping a line over the side for some bass. I remember, I was young once myself. Some days I preferred the young lady, and other days I preferred the bass.
There. He's tricking them into thinking Johnny's a fool. Scoundrel.
Now, Mother.
And that is why I am sure that you good citizens of Union Falls will re-elect Councilman George Smith. I thank you.
He's just a little impatient, folks. And now may I introduce the opposition, the impatient Johnny Reeves.
Yes, I am impatient. I'm impatient with Willoughby, with Jestrel, with the mayor, with everything they stand for. And more important, I'm impatient with you. With you, Mike Hennessy. With you, Dick Berg. And you, Maria Tonetti. And with you, Mom. And you too, Dad. You don't mean any harm. None of you do. But I must say you're not doing any good. Because each of you in your own way makes possible the mess we're in. Not just in our town, but in the state, in the country, even in the whole world. You blame these people up here. You call them scoundrels. Maybe they are. But remember, their only strength is your weakness. Tell me, what have you ever done about looking into public affairs? How many of you have ever encouraged one honest person to take up a career in government? In fact, how many of you have ever encouraged a son or a daughter to go into government? Has it ever occurred to you to study the candidates, to look into their records, to inquire if they've lived up to their promises? How many of you participate in political meetings? In fact, how many of you ever even bother to vote? It's our country. One day we're going to be asked what we ever did for it. And I, for one, want to be able to stand before Almighty God and say I tried. We talk about self-government, but most of it is just so much talk. Why, nearly 40 million Americans didn't take the trouble to go to the polls in the last national election. How many of us were among those 40 million? And we call that self-government. If this be self-government, we are inviting world disaster. What can you do about it? Right here in our little town, each of you can individually and personally start changing the world for the better. How you vote is up to you. It's between you and your conscience, between you and God. But the only thing that's really important is that you make your voice heard, that you vote. Vote for whomever you will, but vote. Vote! Vote! Vote!
Quiet, folks, quiet. And now from the state capitol, here's our great governor.
I don't need this. Ladies and gentlemen of Union Falls and of our state, I've been listening to the words of a young man. His speech was not party politics. It was above that, way above it. I know you won't mind if I address myself to that young man, John Reeves. Son, I can't resist the temptation to speak directly to you. You can't imagine the powerful good that was in your talk. I dare say thousands in every corner of the state have been listening to you and have taken new heart from your words. It's with a humble spirit that I acknowledge to all that you are living proof of what one person can do. As the old Chinese proverb goes, it's better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. You have lighted a candle today, and you have no idea how far that little candle may throw its beams. Thank you, John Reeves. And God grant there may be many more like you throughout our state, throughout the land, who realize that government is their business.
Anything for the press, sir?
Yes. Vote, vote, vote.
Thank you.